Hello Prime Coders, welcome back to Prime Coding channel. I am Aditya and in today's video, I will be solving 20th of March Shift 2 solution. Yes, I guess I'm pretty late but I was bit busy in some office work, but not a problem. Let's begin. And for today's video, the quotation is TCS Prime Engineers is equivalent to Infosys SP engineers. Okay, so this is in the perspective of the hiring process, okay, because in the interview of SP engineers they are more likely to ask non-linear data structures a lot, but now in TCS NQT they have also started the same. So now you need to prepare many things if you are targeting prime role, isn't it? Because if you want to secure prime role, you need to solve two questions straight away. And I guess only 15th of shift 1 people, many of the people are able to solve two questions. Otherwise, rest of the shifts, the second questions are totally out of the standards. Yes, they have changed the standard, they have changed the pattern, and I think the TCS NQT coding level is being increased. So you need to prepare many things from now onwards. Please let me know in the comment section, do you require that updated pattern coding sheet so that I can also look over the non-linear data structures for now? Because if I am the person who will give you a tip, I will recommend you to study all basic or medium level question of non-linear data structure. Yes, of non-linear data structure, which means if you talk about the graph, you should know for finding shortest path what should be used, or what should be used in weighted graph, or you can see in DP there are 4 patterns. Just go through those 4 patterns, and yes, if you want this kind of sheet, let me know in the comment section. I will be creating it. Now, without wasting further time, let's start with question number 1, which is very easy, and I know if you're able to solve it, and your aptitude, although aptitude was also not that hard as compare to the previous shifts, it was typically of the same level. So aptitude, most of the people are able to perform well, and the people who are able to solve question number 1, okay, please let me know how many test cases you have passed in question number 1 and question number 2, because it is totally required to see the competition. Okay, how many people have solved this much question, so that the cutoff, they may come with a cutoff in the programming also, maybe or may not be. It will be knowing in the result time itself. So I will be telling you the result analysis. But yes, do let me in the comment section how many test cases you got passed in your examination. Okay, so the question 1, if people are able to solve, digital role is 100% sure. Okay, if your aptitude went very well, so digital role, no one can fetch you if you are able to solve first question fully. So yes, let's discuss the first question. Sum of all prime numbers. And the best part of this particular video or the shift is this question state came from our mock test, okay, that we created, or it is there on my top my profile, and many of the people have claimed, and I got testimonials that the same question came. Yes, prime number is most important topic, and most of the video I always say prime number, you need to study. TCS is more likely towards prime number. Okay, so between 2 to n will be given to you in the input format. You need to find the summation of all prime numbers. So given an integer n, return the sum of all prime numbers between 2 and n inclusively constraints. Okay, 2 power n. Okay, you don't need to look for constraints, because in the examination you don't get any constraints. So a single integer representing the upper limit, okay, the return and integer representing the sum of prime number between 2 to n. So 10 to from 2 to 10 you need to return 17. So the prime number which come under 2 to 10 is 2, 3, 5, which is 5 plus 5, 10 plus 7, 17. So 17 is the right answer. So 2 will be as it is. Now, if like finding prime number, it is very easy. Okay, TCS do supports brute force approach as well. Okay, the size of the pen is these. Okay, so TCS do supports brute force, where you can write 2 loops, okay, from I to 0, and you should go till whatever range it is, R into R range as well, or there are many kind of approach that you can use. So any approach which sounds good to you and easy for you, you can choose that particular approach. Okay, but I will tell you the most optimal, or not most optimal, because most optimal approach we all know what it is. It is sieve and anthrosis, and anthrosis something is the approach which is of log of n algorithm, okay, that you can use to find prime number, whether your number is prime or not, or all the number present in a specific range. So you can use this as well. But to be at a safer side, I will tell you the better approach. Okay, for the better approach, it is very easy, guys. It is very easy. You just need to check the range. Okay, you just need to go from 2 to the square root of the given n, to the square root of the given, let's say it is 9, so square root of 9, which is equal to 3. So from 2 to 3, if any time, okay, so 2 to 3, it is typically a very small range. So I can give you an example taking 2 to, let's say if your I goes to 2, from 2 to 100, okay, you need to find a summation of all the numbers present from in the range of 100. So what you can do is you need to find the total number of prime numbers exist between the range, isn't it? So that you can find the summation. So yes, you can write a loop square across this. So you just need to start your loop from 2 and end it at 10, or if anytime, let's say your n value is 100, if anytime any of the I value is able to divide your number fully, which means that particular number, which means that particular number is not prime. Okay, that is a very simple approach that you can totally use, and the answer would be very easy. So I won't be spending much time because this is the only for loop that you need to write and your answer is done. Okay, so now I will tell you which kind of things. So okay, so in C++ code you can see what I wrote is, first of all, you can take input. Okay, now people do ask me, bhaiya, do I need to create functions in the examination? No, it is your choice. It is your choice, but creating function will be more readable and you can easy to debug it, okay, where you are getting lost or wherever you are losing it. So yes, enter n is not required. It's just written for my reference. So Cn, where I took the range till what range I need to find the summation of all prime numbers. So I created a summation of all prime number function. So I came here. So now what I am doing is from I equals to 2 to n, as question said, I need to find the summation of all prime number which is the prime number. So we need to find that prime number. So I will check for every time. Okay, so firstly 2, is that prime number or not? 3, is that prime number or not? 4, is that prime number or not? So again, this function will be called every time and I will be coming up straight away here, and if my num is less than n, which means I know that if any number which is less than 2 would be my prime number, so just ignore that test case, just return false. Otherwise int I equivalent to 2 and goes to square root of that particular range that I have with me, isn't it, or whatever I we are on. Clear? So till then you need to go, and if any time your current number which you have considered is divisible by the range that you are starting in, if it is divisible, which means that number can't become a prime number or it is not a prime number. So if these two cases are true, which means your particular number is not prime number, and if none of these condition was true, in the last just return true, because you have find the prime number. Clear? Very clear approach. And yes, I explained this because this prime number concept, I explained tons of time in much of the details with their optimal approaches as well in multiple videos, because in Accenture, Capgemini, Cognizant, or I would say all these service based companies do have prime number question anytime, anywhere. It can be in interviews, it can be in OAs, it can be on phone screening round, anywhere. So prime number is the best topic. I explained tons of time. That's why I directly wrote that you need to start your loop from 2 to n and you are totally done with the answer, isn't it? And also I hope I've written the code in a very clear manner so that you can do it. Although if you are looking for this particular presentation which I have, you can just go on the TopMate account. Okay, it is there in my description link, as well as in my comment section, pinned comment in my comment section, just you can check that out too. Okay, but if you, let's say, if you want to claim the mock test, you can just go on the description and claim it, because then only you will get a discount of 20%. Then your cost will become only 56 rupees. I will let you know in the last, okay, how to claim it, because now the important topic is this. So in the Python, the code looks very simple, that, okay, you took the input, okay, that is not required to take this kind of thing, like enter, it is not required, rest input is required. Okay, so let me erase it. I think that is a C++ or Java language, that's why I cut down. So yes, this is not required. Otherwise, int input, you can take the input. So print of sum of prime and you are done. So def is prime. If number is less than 2, as I told, it won't be your prime number. And if any time in the range of 2 to that particular considered number, then which means that number is also not prime, or any of the two test cases are not true, which means you end up having your prime number in the end. So just return the summation, which is inbuilt function. Yes, in TCS NQT compiler, most of the inbuilt function do work. Okay, that replace, sum, lem, everything do work. The people say that in inbuilt functions are not working. Everything is working very fantastically, very good. But the question is not coming under the favor. That is the main problem. Okay, these questions are very easy, but the second question looks difficult to most of the people who are not into the non-linear data structure practice. Okay, so not a problem. We'll see that too. For num in range 2 to n plus 1, you just need to go, and if it is e sum, then prime. Okay, I just wrote in a single line. You can write it in multiple lines, not an issue. This is a very short form to write that all the number which comes under this particular list, it will return the summation of it. Okay, so this for loop will start first, then it will check for this particular condition, and that would be our num. Simple as that, a simple line that can do multiple tasks very easily. And yes, in the last you will be having sum that you can print in the answer screen. Okay, similarly in the Java as well, you can see product static void main string of args, then took the scanner. Do scanner class is also working. Okay guys, you don't need to worry that scanner class is not working. Then system out println enter n, then int n sc dot next int, you took the input, although it is not required at all. But yes, system dot out dot println sum of primes, and you are done. The same question that I wrote in C++ as well. I don't think so this particular code snippet required any more or further explanation, isn't it? Because everything has been mentioned in the dry run of the question, isn't it? So yeah, great. So now let's discuss the question number 2, which is typically of medium to hard level, and hard level for those who are not studied graph or anything in their engineering career. Okay, so now you are given a directed acyclic graph, which means it is a graph, and it is a directed graph that we can have with us. Okay, with n vertices and m edges. We have n vertices and m edges. Each edge has a weight associated with it. Your task is to find the shortest path from a given source node SRC to a destination node, which is DES, using the provided graph data. So input nm X, Y, W and SRC is the input format, and yes, this input format also was an integer. Okay, it took me many days to create this video because we are in contact with multiple students who submitted their codes. Okay, and typically they pass 2 or 3 test cases very easily. That's why we are here with the solution properly. The input was in the integer format. You don't need to worry at all, and the best part is if you are taking the input line by line, you are able to get it also. Now some people directly take the input in string and make their easy question harder. I know that you might have think that okay, this won't be working, that's why we directly took in string. No, first of all, you should choose the generic way that is taking input is working or not in integer. If it is not, then move towards any complex method. Okay, so you will be able to take input very properly. Not a problem. And just perform your task afterwards. So print the shortest path from SRC to DES. Display the total weight of this path. And the question looks like this. You need to print your answer like this manner, not a simple shortest path that you have found. You need to print the path as well. So printing path is very easy in 3 of the languages, but in Java, you just need to do some modifications and your code is done. Okay, so let me tell you how to solve this question. Okay, so I cleared out on the screen and let's create the graph. Why I am creating graph straightforward? Yes, because question told us to find a shortest path, isn't it? So for creating it, we need to have a graph so that we can analyze how to do it and what type of approach I need to do. So I have 3 into 3 thing, and question also state that 0, 1, 5, which means 0 and 1 are the 2 vertices and the weight of that vertex has 5, which means let me create 2 vertices. Let's say it is 0, let's say it is 1. So the weight between them is 5. Clear. Then we have 1 to 2. Then we have 1 to 2. Let me create 2, and it has weight of 3. And we have 0 to 2, which has a weight of 10. Okay, now the source in the question, the source said that from 0 you need to go till 2, and that particular location should be, or that particular length or traveling path should be less than. So how you can do it when you don't know about the programming? Tell me. So you will definitely think that, okay, I will come out from my home and I will see, okay, coming on 5 and 10, which particular path take me less time or less efforts. I can see the path, let's say this is path 1 and path 2. The path 1 takes me very less distance to cover as compared to the path 2, isn't it? So I will proceed my journey with path 1. Okay, so I will start my journey with path 1, which is 5. Then I came here on the 1. I will check, do I have more paths? No, I have only one path. So I will pursue with it. So whatever distance you have covered and whatever distance that you're gonna cover, you will just add 3 into it. And when you see, okay, I am reached 2 now. Now I will check whether I reach my home. Yes, it is my home. So I will return that yes, 8 is the particular answer. And which path I took? I took from 0, I came from 1, and at 2, I ended my journey, and my total weight is equivalent to 8, as question ask us to print. Okay, so this is a very layman thing. Now what is the observation from the question? So the observation is, we need to take always the minimum path at every stage. Second thing is, it may be that anytime I am going towards a node which is already been visited, so I don't want to explore that path. Okay, so we need to take care that we don't waste our time. Okay, don't waste time. Okay, so for that I can think of, we can use visited array, so that we can think that, okay, this nodes has been visited, so I don't need to go there. Another is, we need to make sure that we have path access, whatever path that I am taking it. Okay, but before to it, I need to add all my distance as well. These are the simple observation. Then only I will be able to create code, because in the examination there are high chances that let's say you go on your examination and new question came which you have not studied. So these observation will help you out to create a approach at least. Okay, whether it is right or wrong, whether it is fully passed or not, at least it can help you to pass half of the test cases. So yes, clear. So to get or to find always the minimum path, okay, what I will choose, what I can do for minimum path, there only are two values, which says that, let's say you store all the distance in the array, whatever you have seen so far, and you will sort it, and you will choose the very first one. If it is sorted as ascending, the very first index of the array will have the minimum. Other thing which is more optimal is priority queue, or you can call it as min or max heap. Okay, so in min and max heap, what is the functionality that they always have? If let's say you consider the min heap, it always have the minimum value on top. So whenever you will try to pick any element out from the priority queue, you will always have minimum element, isn't it? So can't I choose this? And if you have studied trees, or in your college days, you might remember that we have several ways to traverse a tree, isn't it? Because in mock interviews as well, I ask many kind of question, which is, can you tell me what kind of traversals are there? Because you should at least know what kind of traversal do exist to pass a tree, isn't it? For that we have DFS and BFS, isn't it? DFS states that we need to go in depth, then only we need to proceed further, either in the left side, either the right side, or somewhere, isn't it? But what BFS say that we have level wise traversal, which means I traverse first, then I will traverse this one, then I will traverse this one, and I will traverse this one. So don't you think we need to think over BFS? Why? Because at every stage I am going through all of the paths which is connected to the current path which I am on, isn't it? So how I can solve this question now is, I hope most of the thing has been clear. Now if you have studied BFS, then you definitely know that BFS can easily be applied using priority queue, or most of the time BFS is mostly applied using queue. So you can also solve this question using queue, you can also solve this question as a priority queue, but I am using priority queue because I always need the minimum thing. But in BFS you are not even thinking that whether that node has a minimum node or something. Okay, so I will use priority queue. So let me write the test case. So we have, now let's understand how to create approach in the examination, isn't it? Now you should at least able to create the approach which can able to pass at least 1 to 2 test cases. But for that also you should have a basic knowledge of data structure. Okay, so as I wrote above, what is the observation? We have minimum, and don't we waste time, so that we can have a visited and we can take out whichever nodes has been visited. I won't be visiting it again, and I need something or variable or something which will store my distance or my path simultaneously. Clear? So for minimum, I also told that we are using priority queue because we need to always travel the minimum possible distance. So my priority queue will look like, how a priority queue will look like, I will consider the priority queue which is min heap, which will always have minimum value on my top. Okay, so I will create a priority queue which will always have the minimum value on the top. Initially, I will fill my priority queue with 0,0 so that I can start my operation, isn't it? So that I can kickstart my full operation. So from 0,0, what I will do, I will always in every iteration, I will try to fetch the first element which is there in my priority queue. Okay, so first element will have weight and node. Okay, so 0 is the weight, this is the weight, and this is the node. Okay, let me remove it. This is not a best practice to write. Clear? So this is 0,0, which is of weight and node combination, isn't it? So for now we have 0, 0, and we appended in the very beginning so that we can start our journey. So now I will check whether my priority key is empty or not. It is not empty. So what I will do, I will take the first element out which is there, because I know that it will be definitely a minimum value that I have seen so far, isn't it? So yes, I will just pop it out. I will just pop this out and it will come like here. Now this is the very first thing which I took count. So if I have a visited array, okay, just creating an approach like in the examination how you should create. So if I have a visited array, I will mark 0 as visited, and distance, how many distance I have covered, weight, current weight is 0. So yes, 0 has been added. Clear. Now what I will do, I will check. I think we don't require any visited array here. Why? See, this is how you create an approach, because it is a directed graph, and I know that question said that it is a cyclic directed graph, which means it doesn't have cycle. You can't see there is no cycle, because at 2 there is only 2 degrees in degrees. No degrees are going outside from the 2. So it is not creating any cycle. Okay, so it is acyclic. We don't need any visiting. Clear. So now distance has been covered till now is 0, but as we are using BFS, because BFS is the only traversal which will help me to cover all of the edges which is going out from a specific node. So I am on the 0 node, so I will check, is that any nodes which going outside from the 0 node? Yes, it will say yes. How many nodes are there? 1 and 2. Okay, so on 1 I have 5,1. 5 is the weight, and 1 is the node which is I am going from 0 to 1, isn't it? Now 10,2, which is 10 is the weight, and 2 is the node where if I start from 0 I will hop on the 2, isn't it? So yes, we have 2 nodes associated. I wrote in the particular manner. Now min heap will minimize it and put on the top is minimum, which I have. That's why I wrote in that particular manner itself. So we have 5,1. Now I will cut down 5,1 from here. Okay, so I will cut down 5,1. Now instead of 0, it will become 5 and it will become 1. So distance covered is because I chose this particular part to move my journey. So yes, 5 has been covered, isn't it? So yes, distance has been covered till now is 5. Now clear. Let me write it clearly so that it makes sense. It will become 5. Clear. Now what will happen next is, as I told, I am on the 1. It will check 1. Whatever nodes you have, whatever edges you have, if you are going to the another edge, if you are connecting node, please let us know about all of the edges. It will say I have only one node and it has the weight of 3, and from one node it is going to 2. Okay, so what will happen here is it will write it as 3, 2. Now as this is a min heap, it will reconstruct everything. And your min heap in the last iteration will look like 3, 2 and 10, 2. Isn't it? 10, 2, which is this particular path, and 3, 2 is this particular path which you are currently forming, you got from 1, isn't it? So now you have 3, 2 with you. Again on the top you have 3, 2. Now what will happen? It will only pop this out 3, 2, and you will be able to do your task now. Okay, which is 3 is weight and this is 2. Now I will now I will add whatever distance I have covered. I have covered 8, so it becomes 8. Now I will check. Okay, 2. So 2, which means it is my destination, isn't it? If I reach to my destination, I just need to stop my all operation and just come out from the loop and just return it. And whatever nodes that you have traversed, which is 0, 1, 2, just need to print that as well, and you are done, which is 0, 1, 2. So this is the particular question wants you to do in the programming stuff. So I wrote everything very clearly. Now our task is to write code. So for writing code, I wrote a very easy manner code. Okay, let me discuss about those codes. So great. In this particular code snippet where we are discussing in the Python, simultaneously I will discuss the code in Java and C++ as well. So yes, what you can see is n into m, because we need to know in 3x3 matrix is coming from the compiler side. Now I need to graph, isn't it? Graph, which means adjacency matrix, which means from, to, and weight. This is the format of my graph. Clear? So yes, for I in range, like the total number of rows which I took as, or total number of rows or column, whatever, because both of the values are same. So x, y, w will map int input dot split. Everything has been given in, because it is in the space separated manner, 3 at one side. Now I will add everything in my graph properly. Now source and destination I will take, because it is the very last line. Now total weight I will got via Dijkstra algorithm, because this is the most optimal algorithm to find the shortest path, and I explain you that as well without telling you the name, because most of the people, after seeing, oh, it's a Dijkstra algorithm problem, it might be very hard, but it is not. The same approach which I told is the intuition of Dijkstra algorithm. Okay, so graph, SRC, and destination. Okay, so now total weight, which is total weight, has been printed in the last, but you need to make sure that you should follow the path as question said, which is this one. As you can see, 0, 1, 2, then you get total weight as 8. You need to follow that as well. That is the another challenge in this particular question. Okay, so this function has been called. What I did is I created distance matrix which has all of the value as infinity. Now you will say, why infinity? Because you need to append the value inside. Okay, from 0, 1, 2. At 0, what how many, or what is the distance you have covered? So it is infinity. I know that whatever distance would be there on my edge or at that particular instance, it will definitely less than my this particular thing. So I will append it as 0. At 1, how much distance you have covered? Your distance covered 5, which will definitely will be less than 1. Then you have distance 2. So distance 2 will be covered in how much time? In just 3 time or 8 time. Okay, if you are going from this particular path or whatever feels you good. That's why we have mentioned this particular approach. What it said next is visited. What visited? To check that the node which I am currently on, is that visited or not, because it may be your graph has this kind of nodes that from here also you have visited, and this node should also being visited. So anytime it may be you already visited this node, so you need to stop your process. You don't need to recompute that particular node. This is an edge case that you should always look over, because your graph will not always look like of having all the node distinctly different than all of the nodes, isn't it? So now dist source starting from 0, as I told, and I will append into my PQ, which is priority queue, which is 0, 0 has been appended, so that I can do my task and start my task. So while my priority queue is not empty, I will just pop the element out, weight I will got, node I will got, and I will print that particular node. And I am 100% sure that the value which I will get from the top would be minimum, and I will gonna choose that particular way, isn't it? So if node is equivalent to dest, so please break it. Otherwise, if visited node, then continue. Okay, so visited node is equivalent to true. Marking visited node so that I won't be visiting that particular node again. So for neighbor in W in graph.node, which means the graph which I have where I need a neighbor, what is the corresponding neighbor? Because this is a vertex and this is a neighbor and this is the weight. So I got that particular weight and neighbor. So if that neighbor cost is greater than my this node plus weight, which means my neighbor should be rechanged with my current weight that I am gonna be. That's why here I wrote 8, because 5 plus 3 will be always lesser than my this particular resistance, isn't it? So it will become infinite, isn't it? So yes, it is less than. So please just reconstruct that value as it is, which I am doing. And afterwards, uh, you just need to append that 8 I did, and heap dot q, push q, whatever value that you got or whatever value that you have changed, please again push into the heap, so that I will always fetch the mean heap from it, isn't it? So now return the dest and it will return you the distance as well. Now here you might have observed that I am printing node. Now are you able to find some error here? What error? That if you visited 0, it will give you this one. Then if you are on 1, it will give you this one. Now when you are on the destination also, it will give you this one. And after that, comma and total weight as question said, but you don't need to have this particular symbol. Okay, so I will tell you the executable, I will show you the executable code as well, so that we'll have a better idea. Okay, so now this is the code of Python. Now in the Java code, C++ code, let's discuss the C++ code, which is also very similar. Yes, here is the int main function, which is int main. This function will take a column matrix value. Then we have resized our graph and distance matrix and visited.assign, which means all the values should be assigned as 0. Then we have considered n. Then for int of I equals to 0, I is less than m and I plus plus. So int of x, y, z, we took, what is that? Again I will set it as node, then it has vertices, or I can say this is node and this is neighbor and this is weight. This kind of thing. So graph, we are creating the adjacency matrix of that corresponding 3 of the places. Now for int I equals to 0, I is less than and I plus plus. So dist of I is IE9, which is setting the values infinity, so that I can consider all the values or all the paths in the first beginning, and always make sure that I will be storing the minimum value possible. Clear? So yes, source destination will took the input of that as well. Call the direct star to find the minimum element and total weight, isn't it? So yes, rest the same, it will be remain as same, because you can see priority queue as we initialize their states say that it is a pair, okay, which is int, because you should have 2 pair of weight and node, isn't it? So now priority queue 0 src, and yeah, the same explanation which I explained in Python. And yes, here also there is a small bug of error. If you know without watching the solution, just alter this code right away and put it in the comment section. Okay, and let me know how many test cases you got passed in this particular question. But yes, in the last of this video, I will be showing you how to overcome this particular issue. You just need to mention this thing into a if loop as well. This is a hint, and I will let you know what modification you need to do. Now let's discuss the Java code. As you can see on the screen, it is a modified code. In the Java, you just need to have a 16th line addition into the code, which will give you the parent thing. Okay, so it will only help you out to get or to maintain the nodes which you have visited, to print the thing into the specific manner. If I run this, you need to print 0, 1, 2, total weight as 8. For that only, I am creating the parent array. And yes, after doing the operation which I explained, that yes, if you reach to the node destination, just break that iteration right away. Otherwise, do the operation, which is have the neighbor, have the edge weight, and replace the value if the addition of the value is lesser than the value which is stored on the destination distance neighbor. And yes, whatever value has been appended, then please put the values in the priority queue so that I can consume it whenever I need it. Okay, so print path is the function which will help me to print a path in a specific path on if you can see, in a path manner. Okay, so yes, same thing happening, starting from destination and going till the -1, which is the very first location, and printing all the path, because in the array of parent, every path which you have visited would be in the reverse order. Okay, so yes, please play with it. I will provide this particular link in the comment section below. Just go, and for running, you just need to click on run code and you will get your answer. Not only in Java, okay, in the C++ as well, I have a playground written in a proper manner which runs like everything. Okay, but here in the C++ and Java, you just need to make some alteration in the spaces. The spaces has been provided many, but in the question it was not asked you or put spaces like anything. But in Python, the exact output looks like very same as per the question, as which we saw in the TCS NQT 20th of March 2. Okay, the solution is very easy. I try to make them easy. Otherwise, there are many good creators who explain this topic in an in-depth manner, but in an examination, you won't be creating a big structure of graphs. That's why how you can create these things, I told you to think in the runtime, to have the approach, have the observation, then only you will able to solve these questions right away. Okay, so this is a TopMate account which is providing you referrals in just 15 minutes, and you can call them people who are working in a big product based company and you are inspiring from them. You can just call and ask for the guidance, but you just need to scroll a bit, come in the service based mock interview. You can see my profile, just click on my profile, and yes, my profile will be loaded. More than 65,000 people have trusted our resources, and come on this all shift solution. Okay, all shift coding solutions and answer. Click here and you will get this particular thing. Okay, in this I have added the 20th of shift as well. Okay, if it has not been added, I will check it again and I will be adding it. As you can see here, it is showing that 20th of shift has also been added. You can go and claim it right away. It has all the notes, but let's see if you want to claim the resources which says as mock test, which is important, and same question came in the examination as well. Just click on get access, and if you come from the link which is there in the description, you will see the add discount coupon, and right away simply write Aditya-20 coupon code. You can see the coupon code in the description below, and you will get 20% straight discount. Clear? So we'll meet you with a new video soon. Until then, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share with your friends so that your friend can also watch and prepare for upcoming TCS NQT shift. Okay, so bye bye.